The phantom phone calls, Nicole. I've always enjoyed the peace and quiet of my solitary evenings at home. But one fateful night, as I settled into my cozy living room, my tranquil world was shattered by a series of unnerving phone calls that would unlock a mystery I had never imagined. The first call came at precisely 9:13 p.m. The ringing phone pulled me from the pages of my book, and I glanced at the caller ID. It displayed a string of numbers I didn't recognize, just a jumble of digits with no name attached. I hesitated for a moment but finally decided to answer. "Hello?" I said, my voice cautious. Static crackled on the other end of the line, and my heart began to race. Then, a voice, distorted and cold, spoke.
"You cannot escape your past."
It whispered, each word dripping with ominous intent. A shiver ran down my spine, and I clutched the phone tighter.
"Who is this? What do you want?"
But there was no response, only the sound of heavy breathing. Then, the line went dead. I tried to dismiss it as a prank call, but the unsettling message lingered in the back of my mind. It was as if the caller knew something about me, something that I wanted to keep buried in the past. Over the next few days, the calls continued, always from the same unknown number. Each time, the voice on the other end delivered cryptic warnings and unsettling details from my own history. It was as if they had access to my darkest secrets and reveled in exposing them. One evening, as I answered yet another call, the voice spoke with chilling clarity.
"The secrets you hide will be your undoing."
Panic welled up inside me as I realized the caller was alluding to a past mistake, a mistake I had tried to forget. How could they possibly know? It was a secret that only a select few people knew, and none of them would have any reason to torment me in this way. The ominous predictions made by the caller began to come true. They warned me of an impending accident, and the next day, I narrowly escaped a car crash in a matter of seconds. They foretold a fire in my apartment building, and I was the last tenant to safely evacuate before the flames consumed the structure. My life became a nightmare of constant dread as I waited for the next phone call and the grim prophecy it would bring. But there was no pattern, no way to predict when the caller would strike next. In a desperate attempt to unravel the mystery, I decided to investigate the unknown number. I contacted my phone provider and begged them to trace the source of the calls, but they could find no record of the number in their system. It was as if the calls were originating from a void, an impenetrable black hole. I reached out to the police, providing them with all the details I had, but they were equally baffled. There was no evidence of any wrongdoing, and the calls remained a chilling enigma. As I delved deeper into my own past, searching for any clue that might explain the calls, I uncovered a long-forgotten incident from my youth. It was a mistake I had made, an act that had hurt someone deeply. I had thought it was behind me, buried and forgotten, but the calls had brought it back to haunt me. I knew I had to confront the past, to make amends for what I had done, in the hopes that it would put an end to the torment. It wasn't an easy journey, facing the consequences of my actions and seeking forgiveness, but it was the only way to break the cycle. One evening, as I sat alone in my living room, I received one final call. The voice on the other end was no longer cold and menacing, it was filled with an eerie sadness.
"You faced your past."
It said, the words laden with a strange sense of closure.
"The cycle is broken."
And just like that, the call stopped. The mystery that had haunted me for weeks vanished into the silence, leaving behind a sense of eerie emptiness. I may never know who was behind the phantom phone calls or how they had access to my secrets. but I had learned a valuable lesson about the weight of my own actions and the power of redemption. It was a haunting journey, one that would stay with me forever, a reminder that the past has a way of catching up with us, even when we least expect it. The distorted reflections, Natalie. I've always cherished my solitude, the comforting embrace of an empty house during those quiet evenings. But as the days grew shorter and darkness crept in, an unsettling occurrence invaded my sanctuary, turning my peaceful haven into a realm of torment. It all began one evening as I prepared dinner in the cozy kitchen of my suburban home. The late afternoon sun cast a warm, golden glow through the window, painting the room in a soft, inviting light. But as I glanced at my own reflection in the glass, I noticed something strange, a faint distortion that rippled across my reflection, like a pebble disturbing the surface of a pond. I blinked, convinced it was a trick of the light, but the distortion remained. It was as if my reflection was trying to escape from its mirrored prison, pushing against the boundaries of our world. My heart quickened with unease, and I turned away, trying to shake off the eerie sensation. Over the next few days, the strange reflections continued to haunt me. They appeared in every reflective surface, the bathroom mirror, the microwave door, even the surface of my smartphone. Each time, the distortions grew more pronounced, revealing disturbing scenes from an alternate reality. In the bathroom mirror, I saw a city consumed by flames, skyscrapers crumbling to the ground as panicked crowds fled in terror. In the microwave door, I witnessed a desolate wasteland, littered with the remnants of a world that had succumbed to ruin. And in the surface of my smartphone, I glimpsed a horrifying carnival where grotesque creatures danced to a discordant melody. I couldn't escape the feeling that these reflections were trying to communicate with me, to warn me of some impending catastrophe. But the messages were cryptic, the scenes fragmented and disjointed. One evening, as I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, I saw a reflection that filled me with dread. It was an image of myself, but it was not me. The reflection wore a look of terror, its eyes wide with fear, as if it had just witnessed something unimaginably horrifying. I stumbled back, my heart pounding, and the reflection returned to normal. But the sensation of being watched, of being entangled with this alternate reality, only grew stronger. I began to lose sleep, tormented by the reflections that invaded my every waking moment. I felt as if I were teetering on the edge of madness, my world unraveling before my eyes. Desperation drove me to seek answers. I scoured the internet for any mention of similar experiences, but found nothing. I even consulted with experts in psychology, hoping for an explanation rooted in science, but they could offer no solace. As the distortions and the reflections intensified, so did the foreboding sense that something catastrophic was on the horizon. I became obsessed with deciphering the cryptic messages, spending hours staring into mirrors and windows, trying to make sense of the fragmented scenes. One evening, as I gazed into the living room window, I saw a reflection that chilled me to the bone. It was a vision of my own house, but it was crumbling and decaying, as if time itself had unraveled its very foundations. I rushed to the window, looking out at the peaceful suburban street bathed in the soft glow of streetlights. But the reflection in the glass refused to align with reality. It was a world consumed by chaos and decay, a world that bore a horrifying resemblance to the visions I had seen. I knew I had to act, to find a way to break free from this nightmarish entanglement with the alternate reality. But as I searched for answers, I couldn't help but wonder, was the alternate reality a warning, a glimpse into a future that I had the power to change? Or was it a grim prophecy, a reflection of the world's inexorable descent into chaos? As the distortions and the reflections continued to intensify, I found myself standing at the precipice of a harrowing choice. The visions had become inescapable, the boundaries between my world and the alternate reality crumbling before my eyes. The mirror in my bedroom became a portal, a gateway to a distorted world where time had no meaning, and reality had lost all sense of order. I knew that I had to face whatever lay on the other side, to confront the source of the reflections and put an end to the torment that had consumed my life. With trembling hands, I reached out and touched the surface of the mirror, and as I stepped through, I knew that I was entering a realm of unspeakable horrors, a world where the line between reality and nightmare had blurred beyond recognition. But I had to know the truth, to understand the mystery that had brought me to this terrifying crossroads. As I ventured further into the alternate reality, I could only hope that I would find the answers I sought and that I could bring an end to the distorted reflections that had haunted my every waking moment. If you found any enjoyment in the video, I implore you to click that like button and subscribe if you dare.